Hello everyone, welcome to Michael's vlog in the Philippines. Today I'm going to be talking about, a new rule at the SM Ecoland Cinema or movie theater. And I'm really having a sad day. Actually, yesterday was my sad day because that's the day that we went to the movie theater at SM Ecoland. And they have a new rule, unfortunately, and I'm going to get into that in one moment. But before I get into that, I just want to say in general, since I arrived in the Philippines, when I first arrived here, one of the biggest things I noticed is they have a lot more freedom in certain areas that we do not. And keep in mind that's certain areas. I'm not saying that they have more freedoms than us overall necessarily, because I can't say that. I'm not no, law expert or anything like that to say what all their freedoms are. But in general, it seems that they have certain areas that we just don't have flexibility in. And it's not even that I necessarily need flexibility in those areas, it's just my observations. So, for example, you could have a truck riding down the street and they could have 10 or 15 people sitting in the back of that open truck and no one's going to even blink an eye. They're not going to bother them. You could have 5 or 6 people on one motorcycle and no one's going to make a big deal about that. If you tried that in America, you're probably going to draw some attention and you might get a ticket. Probably not even a might. You're likely to get a ticket if you try some stuff like that. But in general, what I've noticed is that they're very laid back in terms of their nature here, and that's just a general theme. And I'm kind of sad because I'm hoping that that doesn't slowly change over time. And keep in mind, I've been here for about 4 or 5 years, so me having this new experience at the SM Ecoland Cinema was very shocking. Now, I understand the new rule that they're changing from a business perspective, but also I got to look at it from a consumer perspective as well. So let's go ahead and talk about this new rule because I know I'm kind of going around it and not really just talking about it. So let me get to the point. When we went to the SM Ecoland Theater, they had a new sign that says no food and no drinks. Now, when I saw that sign, I thought it literally meant that we cannot bring any food and drink in. But it's the classic rule that we have in America where you can't bring outside food. Now, keep in mind, we're in the mall. Okay, so this anything we buy is still going to benefit the mall, regardless if it's bought from a company that's directly in front of the cinema or outside of the cinema. But this new rule is basically saying that you cannot bring any food and drink from outside of the theater area, meaning that you have to buy popcorn and drinks from that area. And if you do buy water, it has to be a SM brand water. So if you buy the, at least to the best of my knowledge, they let me bring in the water that said SM brand on it. Now they might allow other water, to be brought in, but I'm not really sure about that because I didn't have another type of water. But at least for the SM brand, which is the mall's brand anyway, they let us bring that in. But we bought some pretzels from another place, Auntie Anne's, I believe is the name of it. I haven't been in America, so sometimes I forget the American brand names, and I haven't been to Auntie Anne's in a long time, but I believe that's the name, to be exact. But yeah, we bought some pretzels from there, and me, my wife, and my son, we was excited. We about to go see our movie, and then we get there, and it says no food and drinks, and I'm like, man, I just ate one stick of the pretzel. We all ate one just to make us happy, and then we had to give them our snacks. And I don't like giving my food to somebody to hold, you know, even if they're not gonna do nothing to it. I don't want to give them my food. I paid for it. I paid for it in the mall, so I'm supporting the mall. It's not like I brought in some food from some outside vendor and brought it into the mall. I'm still supporting the mall, but the mall is not allowing me to bring that food in. Whereas they're only allowing you to bring in the food that's sold by the vendor directly in front of the cinema where they sell popcorn and all that stuff. And I don't really like eating popcorn. So for me, you're losing money from me because the next time I go to your theater, I can't purchase Auntie Anne's and bring it into your theater. And I don't eat popcorn really, so I'm not. You're gonna lose money from me. You're losing revenue because of whatever deal you got with that company that's in front of the cinema that's prohibiting me from bringing in food and drinks. So now you're losing money because I'm less likely to buy those food items because I can't bring it in and enjoy it with the movie. Because that was the primary reason that I bought it, was because I wanted to have a snack while I'm watching the movie, and my family wanted to have a snack other than popcorn, for our movie experience. So for me, I probably will not go to their movie theater. I'm gonna have to find me another movie theater where I can bring in food and not have an issue with bringing in food and drink. And for me, I understand it again from a business perspective. The company that's in front of the let me pause this video for a moment because I got a phone call coming in, probably my wife. Okay, I'm back. It turns out it was just some company trying to sell me some cards, and I don't get credit cards and all that kind of stuff. But they trying to call us on the phone here, and they just disrupted my video. But anyway, I'm back, and have to try to refine my place here. But in general, I probably will not go back to that theater because you took away the value for me. So from a consumer standpoint, the value for me, the reason I'm willing to go to that theater is because I can come in with any food from the mall and have the best experience. I can get the best food I want. If I want healthy food, I can get healthy food. If I want bad food, I can get bad food too. I don't have to eat healthy, but I have a choice. And that's what the consumer side of things are. Is that's a special value that in America we really don't have that value. And now they taking that away. And so for me as a consumer, I'm gonna look like, man, that was worth so much to me. I would even pay more to go to your movie theater just to be able to bring in whatever food I want. So that was a high level of value. And they just took this away. I don't know if they did any marketing research to find out if how it would impact their sales. But for me as a consumer, I'm not gonna go to your theater if you take something away that was a lot of value to me. See, because I don't have to go see a movie. That's just the way I am. But for other people, maybe they have to go see a movie. But for me, I only went there because one, I can take my family there to be entertained, and also I can enjoy me some great food, any food that I want. I could have Jollibee before if I wanted to, right up in the movie theater. I could have McDonald's, and you try that in America, you can't eat no McDonald's in the theater, at least not in the ones that I've been to. You can't bring in no 5-star dinner into no movie theater while you watching the movie, but you can have a full course meal before in these theaters. But they changed that this month, and you no longer can do that, unfortunately. So from a consumer standpoint, it was a lot of value for me. It was one of the best movie theater experiences, even though they don't necessarily have the best screens and all that. That doesn't even matter for me. The best value was bringing in the best food I can while enjoying a decent movie. So for me, I'm gonna have to find me a new movie theater. If you in the Philippines and you know of a movie theater that doesn't restrict you on bringing food in, let me know. I'll start going to that theater to watch my movie so that I can get whatever food I want for my family, and let us eat how we want to and enjoy our movie. And there's some other side effects too that impact you that you may not even think about or realize. So when we all showed up, because it wasn't just me and my family, but other families showed up with food. And so you see Jollibee and all kinds of other food being stored in these containers with whoever else food in there. We don't know if they got nothing up in there. It could be germs, could be bugs in their food. We don't know, and it could crawl into our food. And so we got all this food stored in these containers in this area that's just sitting there. And in fact, when we got our bag back of food, it was wet. We was like, where this wet stuff come from on our bag? So our bag is wet. Fortunately, our food was protected, but still our bag came all wet. It could have ripped and the food could have all fell out. And so that adds to that negative experience of having to store your food there because you can't bring it in a theater because they just suddenly changed the rule without any kind of notice. I was only away from Davao for 1 week in Manila, and we come back and they changed all the rules. But that's not the end of it. In addition to our food being stored in there, when you come out of the theater, now you have to wait in a line again to get your food back because they give you a little ticket thing and you have to give them the ticket. Then you got to wait in line. You're fighting in line to get your food because there is no organized line, actually. We're all just running up there and trying to get our food back. And we're fighting each other trying to get our food back so we can go on about our daily lives. And it's creating additional time and frustration that was not necessary, in my opinion, from a consumer perspective. And I think that one of the big things that the Philippines lack is marketing researchers. And if they do have them, they need to start making some marketing research surveys and again, I have a marketing background, so I'm familiar with this. Do some marketing research surveys and find out what the customers think. Ask open-ended and closed-ended questions to get valuable information. Do we hate this new experience? Are we likely to come back? Are you likely to recommend people now that we don't allow food in and all these different things? Because for me, it was a big factor. And if it's a big factor for, I don't know, 30% of their customers, that could have an impact on their revenue in bigger ways than they can understand. So one of the things I feel they really lack here in the Philippines is marketing research. They don't do enough marketing research to find out the impacts of their decisions. And there was no marketing research done on this because, again, I was only gone for 1 week, and I'm pretty sure that 99% of the people be like, we still want to bring food in because it's an extra added benefit. That there's no perceived negativity of being able to bring in your own food. And I know this video is long. Y'all probably like, man, you talked about 10 to 12 minutes about this, but you have to come here and experience it first. When you have 4 or 5 years of being able to bring in your own food and have that experience, that extra added value, and you come from America where they don't typically they don't allow you to have food that come in from the outside, it really hurts. It really hurts because it takes away from that experience. So, you would have to again come here to experience that. Now I don't know where else you could go to have that experience. Now I have to find me a new theater that will allow you to bring food in. I might have to check out Gmall. I think Gmall might still allow it. I don't really know, but hopefully Gmall will allow that. And if they do, I don't mind traveling the distance to go to Gmall. I will go there if they're gonna allow me to bring in whatever food I want. That's awesome. So let me know in the comment section if you live in the Philippines